Well, just before we start reflecting and looking forward, Dave, on the next game and the one that's just gone past, just bring us up to date now. I think you can with the situation with one of your defenders that you signed in the summer, Tommy Hoban. Obviously, everybody's been waiting to see pull on the shirt in the first team squad in League One, but that hasn't happened. Tell us the reasons why.
I had a text off Tommy on the Wednesday before the Cheltenham game. Said it didn't feel quite right, and a pleasant message asking if I could give him a ring. I gave him a ring, and he basically told me he was retiring over the phone, and I haven't seen him since. That's the long and the short of it. Then obviously the contract situation had to be resolved over this last week, so unfortunately Tommy's decided to retire.
A big decision that for him. Obviously he must have considered everything, because he's probably in his age-wise he's probably going to be in the prime of his career, but I think he had suffered a few probably injuries previously at other clubs, has he?
Yeah, he's had 2 cruciates early on in his career, and he said he'd been thinking about it for a while. Over the last sort of 15, 18 months, he said. So, well, we wish him all the best. On one hand, the timing is not great, 6 weeks into a contract, but then on the other hand, at least we can replace him because of the transfer window still open. So, it is what it is. Like I said, we wish him all the best. We hope whatever career he chooses to go into and path to go down, that he makes a good fist of it and is successful. So, bit of a shock, but there's no hard feelings from me.
Well, as you say, that transfer window is still open, and even though you had got Tommy Hoban with you, you were still looking anyway to add, and you have added one since we last spoke to you, in Terrell Thomas as well. And just tell us a bit about that one, because his experience and, well, a big unit as well.
Yeah, well, we tried to get him really early on in the window, and he had other things in the pipeline, and it's taken, like I say, a good 6-8 weeks to get it done. It fits the profile of what we're looking for, and it fills the gap that Tommy has left, and hopefully we're still not done by a long stretch. We've got some work to do. We're hoping there'll be some more in this week, certainly 1 if not 2. But like I said, we've got a really important couple of weeks coming up, not just in terms of the games, but also if we can bring a couple more players in.
And one good thing about Terrell as well, because we have actually spoken with him, and he's been very professional, because at times when you're on your own in pre-season, it's difficult. But he's got himself fixed up and went along to a club that he knew the manager well, and has done his pre-season. So for you, he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's been at Brentford, Brentford B all pre-season. I actually saw one of his games via YouTube. They'd streamed it live, so that was against Cambridge. So I got to see a new League Two team, and I got to watch him. So it was while I sat in my front room. So it wasn't too bad. But yeah, he's done all pre-season. He's fit. He's ready. We've got to integrate him into what we do and how we play and all the rest of the stuff, because he hasn't been with us too long. But hopefully that won't take too long.
Well, obviously, it goes without saying, you've had better Sundays than you would have done yesterday, of course. But you would have analysed everything and seen what is what the second time around. What have you learned?
Like I said straight after the game, watching the game back, it reaffirmed my belief that we shouldn't have played 4-4-2 against Portsmouth. That was a mistake. That was my fault. Although in the first half, like I said, they had one big chance, and yes, they had the lion's share possession, but they didn't really create much. And then when tinkered a little bit at half time, and that didn't work too well. It didn't. The fact that we conceded 2 goals means it didn't. The other bits, you go, well, yeah, maybe. And sometimes, you have to hold your hands up, and that was certainly one of them cases. So disappointing. There was other things I don't particularly want to tell you. that needed to be addressed. And that's going to be the plan today and tomorrow and going forward.
For you, on a personal note, you haven't had too many setbacks. You do get the odd one here and there throughout the season, like every team does. But your experience now is growing and growing and growing with games that you've become as the manager. What do you learn? Is it all about how you react and stay calm and put it all into perspective?
Yeah, well, like I said, this club's been on an upward trajectory for the last 4.5 years since I first got the job. So I'm not, if whatever happens this season, there's going to be no panic. And there's going to be no rash or uncalled for reaction towards the players. It's about making them better. It's about teaching them where they've gone wrong and showing them. And that's my job. And that'll stay the same. I don't shout at the players. So it's not a case of losing your head. It's about giving them the bits that they need. And like I said, the first thing I said to them, I got it wrong. So you've got a massive excuse there. And then we went into the bits that we felt as though we could have improved, irrespective of formation, irrespective of personnel, irrespective of things that I maybe can control. And we've got to be better at that as well. So I'm more than humble enough to take the criticism, even if it's not my fault. Even if I feel as though it's not my fault, I understand that responsibility travels upwards, and I'm the top of the football tree at this football club, and I accept that. We've won one, lost one, draw one in the first 3 games. So if that's a crisis, then I don't think what's happening in Afghanistan. We've, like I said, we're going to need some time. There's you'd have thought that after 13 minutes at Hartlepool as well. So we know that we've got some work to do, but we'll get there. I'm confident in myself, in my staff, and in the players. There's no question about that.
The one thing that you highlighted after the game at the weekend is you were disappointed that the way your team gave away its possession, because that's the strength. They do keep that possession. Perhaps the occasion, you never know. It was a big occasion, big home fans might have got to them. But one thing I'm pretty sure that you're going to stress is when you have got that ball, show your own ability and be braver on it. Yeah,
that's one of the things, one of the big things. That's always the challenge. That's how I want the team to play. That's how I think the football club wants the team to play. So we've got to make sure we do that.
Because they have that, don't they? That's what they've been brought up with. I know that you've had a big turnaround of players from this time last year when you look at it, but you've still got a good core of your own grown players in your setup.
Yeah, that's how they've been brought up. We've lost a lot of experience. We've lost a lot of good players, but then that doesn't mean to say the lads that are coming in aren't very good, because they are. And they've been brought up properly, or they've been brought to this football club for a reason. And we've got to make sure that they understand exactly what's required of them and exactly what is expected of them. And that'll happen. There's no danger of that. And the players will accept that. I'm sure they will.
Well, you're back down to the Kassam Stadium. You had some interesting games for them last year. One in particular away from home. You're putting an excellent performance, and you'll be looking now for the next challenge to take them on.
Yeah, look, Oxford are going to be there or thereabouts. They're a tough team, big budget. Experienced manager. So we'll, we know it'll be a tough game again. But like I said, we won there last year. There's no reason why we can't do it again.
And analysing their squad, they haven't made too many changes, have they? It looks as though they've got a pretty similar squad that he's working with.
Yeah, I think that's a positive, not a negative. I think when you work with players for a long time, you understand them more, and you understand what they're capable of and what they're not capable of, and you understand where they can improve as well. So you know, they've got a good team. Like I said, they've got big players. You know, big budget, expected to be up there. It was in the playoffs last year, so there's no reason why you wouldn't expect them to be up there again this year. So we know it's going to be a tough game, again, away from home. And we've got to make sure we match their quality, their endeavour, and win the game ourselves.
Obviously, you would have checked on the players. Can you just bring us up to date on Owen Dale? Was it just a sickness area with him and nothing serious?
Yeah, he was just unwell. He was unwell sort of the morning of the game. He thought he could, you know, get some minutes out of him. We managed to get 40, but he was a shadow of himself, really. So, don't make it worse. Get him off the pitch, and that's what we did.
Is he going to be okay, or do you have to check on him to go with you to Oxford?
We'll check on him. I spoke to the doctor this morning. He's going to give him a ring, and we'll see how he is.